Warning. The following is a live work of fiction for the purpose of entertainment. Actions of characters do not represent the actors who portray them. Gravehaven occurs in a southern Gothic horror setting and may contain graphic depictions of violence, death, and more. Due to the nature of roleplay, other themes of mature content may occur without warning. Viewer discretion is advised.
Bright light in the dark. Now you're nothing but a spark. No. Hear the call. No. Ravens say. No. They will guide you on the way. No. You will find yourselves astray from the water's light. No. Heed the ravens call, or the guard will roll. No.
Last time we left off, spending a few nights in respite, you all found yourselves at the Gravehaven. The druids of whom you saved have spent their time in devotion to you and the church, cleaning and restoring, hopefully, back to the former glory of the Gravehaven. There are no more leaks in the roof. The shattered glass has been swept, and vandalism has been cleaned. Ephraim, a drow from Aboisseri, left in the night, but not without leaving a letter for Whistler. Reverend Varkan explained to those new to the region that the Archdiocese has created their own medicinal and clerical organization where it would seem clerics rule over Crusadia, and those who cannot pay are left sick and hungry. On the dawn of the third night since arriving at Gravehaven, after your meal together that SABRIEL had prepared, the ground for which SABRIEL buried the bodies of the deceased druids, 3 of which he ritually ceremonied, and 2 of whom he did not. The ground was disturbed. You all investigated the grounds to find the 2 undead individuals standing at the base of a dead tree, known as an WYTHE tree, meaning lifeblood. As WYTHE deduced that the tree had a heartbeat. You gathered the reborn, escorted them back into the Gravehaven, and you were all left with more questions than answers. So, you have many avenues of where you can choose to go. So how are you preparing for the next journey, and where are you all going?
I think that the Reverend Varkan would have probably spent their time poring over the texts, probably observing the tree, and maybe to a certain degree avoiding WYTHE. Not out of any sense of like malice, but mostly because there's so much going on with her that they don't understand, and it's a little overwhelming for them. So they've been trying to find answers in their book. They've been conferring over the visions that they've had. They've been doing a lot of praying, and they've been spending time in the garden. Like they've been very fascinated watching the druids kind of bring that area back up to snuff, and they've been enjoying time out there.
Go ahead, and if you'd like, you may choose if you want to make a nature check to focus more on the tree itself, or to focus more on the religion aspect, and you can make a religious check.
Sorry, I accidentally muted myself, and then I couldn't find my mouse. my mouse arrow disappeared, and I was like, "Where is it?" Okay, my religion is better than my nature, but I'm honestly really curious about the tree, so I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope for the best here.
Okay. If anyone else in the next few days is also wanting to focus on the tree, okay,
popped.
Yeah, then you both can either make nature checks separately, or one of you can make one with advantage.
If we're doing it separately, that's fine. Especially since Reverend Varkan is kind of circling WYTHE instead of talking to her like a mature adult would. And that's only a 5, unfortunately, for the Reverend.
So Reverend 5. Izzy, what did you get?
22.
22.
I would like to aid Izzy, if that's okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So go ahead and roll with advantage.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is a big metal boy, so apologies for the noise.
Fine.
We're going to stick to that 22.
Okay. Reverend Varkan, going through, I would assume, Death's Edict, kind of using those texts to kind of go through, and then going back into the back area of the church, looking at the Aswythe tree. What's interesting to you is anytime you touch the tree, there's no negative side effects. So you do notice that. Izzy, you with a 22. You do not hear the heartbeat that WYTHE was speaking of. You do not hear the blood that supposedly was in the roots, being the veins, if it were. Being from Devereaux, and being from the Winnowan swamplands, you've heard stories of the lifeblood trees. You've heard myths or legends that depict, usually they do not grow anywhere outside of the Sanguine Wilds. They are mostly ritualistic in nature, and a lot of, even though you yourself have never spent a lot of time with like blood witches or hags or any let's say like coven, I should say, that use blood as magics. You do know through myths that a lot of those blood covens will use Aswythe trees in rituals. Whether it's they use them as a praying source, or they use them as a way to gather blood or gather sap to use in medicinal ways. You would also know with 22 that even though you do not particularly know the history of the Aswythe tree, like but you also, just to clarify, you do follow the Death Warden. You do. Okay. Your parents would have told you, even though the history of where they came from or anything like that you're not fully aware of, you do know that the Aswythe tree has been mentioned in certain texts, religious texts of the Death Warden. But what's interesting to you is they are not together. It's similar to where they have elements of a story within them, but the tree will be there, but it doesn't have to do anything with the Death Warden in certain stories of the Death Warden, if that kind of makes sense. But those are the three things, the big things that you get with a 22 nature check.
Okay. Can I use this to assist the Reverend? I want to like find them and tell them everything that I've gathered from the tree, especially if there's like mention of religious texts, like if that's enough for them to just take and run.
Yeah.
I also just want to talk to them. So
yeah. You find each other.
Well, hello, Izzy. I wasn't expecting to see you. How are you?
Well, okay, well enough. I was looking at the tree earlier today, and then she takes this time to just immediately word vomit everything she just learned. Hopefully that's something relevant to you. That's not actually why I wanted to find you. And if you needed help, of course I can help you do that, but I wanted to apologize first. I said some pretty not okay stuff before, and you didn't seem too put off by it, but that wasn't okay. I didn't mean...
It is nothing for which you need to apologize, firstly. Secondly, there is a reason why I dress the way that I do. There are many who feel even more strongly about who and what I am than you do. And at least I know that your heart is in the right place. I cannot say the same for the other people. You simply wanted to help them find their peace. You didn't understand entirely what it is they were. And now you do. And you have changed your outlook accordingly. If you had not, then we would have problems.
Thank you.
I appreciate also the work that you've done. I noticed that when I was looking at the tree myself, I didn't glean too much from it, but like the others who were reborn, I too seem to be unharmed by touching the tree. So whatever it is that affects the living, the typical living, does not seem to affect those of us who are reborn.
That tracks. I'm wondering if it has something to do with how, maybe if it's hollowed ground dedicated to the right god. That I don't know.
I think that based upon what it is that you are telling me, the circumstances surrounding the tree even existing here, as well as having people come back from the dead in the same form that I did, that is not something I have experienced in my time here. So this is new for me as well. And an interesting surprise, I guess would be the word for it. I don't personally recall where it is that I reawakened. but I imagine it had to have been a place not dissimilar from this one.
Do you know for a fact that it isn't this place?
I do not. There are many things I don't remember.
I think she gives them their space about that. Okay. Well, I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Keep going. I
No.
apologize.
I was just going to say, I don't know how much longer we'll get to stay here or why we would, but we should probably all get together with WYTHE and figure this out.
Yes, I do suppose that we should. Indeed, that seems like the right move. She appeared to have some affinity of her own for the tree.
Right.
How long have you two known each other?
Not very long at all. We were kind of just heading in the same direction. And then, the people in the cornucopia. I don't really know how we got here. I really wasn't even trying to stay with her for that long. I think at one point I tried to literally run away from her. But both of our horses are fast. So we're just here now. Not long. I
have to admit that I've never met anyone quite like her before. There's an unsettled feeling I have when I'm around her, and I can't explain it. When you are near her, are you ever overwhelmed by a certain scent or memory or anything like that?
No, it's not like that.
I don't know what your Harris is doing, but I don't understand. That is for certain. It seems it's been a long time, actually. Not since Whistler or SABRIEL have I met somebody else of our faith. You do serve the Death Warden, if I'm gathering correctly, just based on the whole vibe and the.
Yeah, no, that's correct. It's a little hard to effectively run a funeral home without doing that.
You run a funeral home?
Oh, my family does, but yeah.
Oh, now that I did not know. That is very interesting.
That's why I got a little, heated over the bodies coming back up. I'm the one that makes sure they don't do that.
Of course. That makes complete and total sense now. Interesting. Well, I will keep that in mind. We don't have anyone here that is trained in the art of interment. SABRIEL does his best, but that is not his particular calling.
If you need any help preparing bodies or anything like that, that is so much fun. Not the part that they're not the dead part, but the work. I enjoy that. That's a skill that I have, and I would do it to help you.
I mean, we have a graveyard, but no one to tend it or to care for the dead. At least not after unless they're ghosts. And then SABRIEL takes care of them. But like the actual bodies of the dead, I can already feel SABRIEL. Like I can't see him, but I can feel him somewhere. He has heard me, and he's giving me a look. I can sense it.
Yeah, he's quiet for all that armor, so he probably really did.
Yeah. He and I have an interesting relationship. He's also somebody I've never quite met anyone like. I don't know if I could do what it is that he does. It's interesting the ways that we all seem to deal with different aspects of death. My provenance is living, preparing them, making sure that they understand what's coming. Whistler, well, I'll let Whistler tell you what it is that he does. You deal with the bodies of the dead, and SABRIEL deals with the souls.
Where does WYTHE fit into that?
That
Other than
is,
blood.
I mean, blood is the most important part of living. It is connected to the one thing that is keeping us all alive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I suppose there are still some things that need to be figured out, but the first thing that we need to determine is where the hell are we going now? And I think it might be time to bring everybody together to figure that out.
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
while you go and find WYTHE, Whistler, SABRIEL, what have you been up to?
So I would think that SABRIEL's still helping to like clean this place up since they have so many guests and this place has, probably not had a maid in many years.
Yeah.
So he's walking around, or SABRIEL is walking around shirtless, carrying stuff. Just, getting it out because why would you walk around in all that armor? Right?
Of course, yes.
And just talking to Whistler.
Yeah. Well, Whistler is with you now, but over the past day or whatever, every opportunity he has to clean near where WYTHE and Isidora are like hanging out, he's there. Like you guys see him like sweeping the floor that's not dirty, like just and then he looks over and then he sees that you guys notice him and then he like scurries off.
I would say that every once in a while, when SABRIEL sees him doing that, he just picks up Whistler by the back of his like jacket and like pulls him along with it.
Well,
It's like,
I'm
come on,
trying
no,
to
no,
do
that
my
that's
job.
I know that spot's very clean though. So why
Put
don't you
me
just
down.
Yeah, okay. Just sweep over here.
Right.
Yeah, no, that spot was very
You're not
clean.
Suspicious.
Stop.
It's fine.
Stop.
You're right.
Look.
I'm just trying to make sure.
I know. Look, I know that's your job, but there are guests now. They haven't tried to murder us in what, a week?
I know.
That's pretty
But
good
you
for most
never
people
can
that come
be
here.
Careful. That's my whole job. It's to make sure that the people I care about are safe and that they're not keeping secrets.
That's both of our jobs.
No, they're
old
totally
friend.
fine to keep their own secrets, but I mean like secrets that would hurt people here. That's what I care about.
I know.
Okay.
And he's gonna lean over. I just appreciate that you care so much about all of us, Whistler.
if I
And
really
he's
care
giving
about
him
you.
just a smirk.
And then he turns around and then he turns back around and he's like, okay, I do.
You do see as you're passing by in the chamber off to your right, you see Thray and Im have, over the past few days, collected all of the stained glass windows that were broken and have begun to piece them together as a puzzle. And so they have like this sprawled out on these tables, various different puzzle pieces that Im is just like really excited to just put them like all the colors here and all the colors here and all the colors here. And they've been hard at work for at least 2 days, cleaning and then trying to get like some of the stained glass put back together.
Yeah, SABRIEL, SABRIEL would like to like crouch down near them.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you're doing a fantastic job at gathering these and putting them all together.
I don't know how you sneak up on us all every time. You're very tall.
I'm used to wearing the armor.
Can I appear
so-
on the other side of her? Really,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
really quietly. Yeah.
And she just turns to him and she goes, ah! 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 And then you see like Im is just like laughing, like she's just like, oh my goodness. You watch as Thray is like catching her breath. Im says, yeah, we've gotten a lot of progress done. And Tobias has been keeping us company, and you watch over and Tobias is just sitting there like there's a part where one of the pieces is like off the edge as he's scooting it of this glass piece. And just about to
Tobias?
drop it on the ground. And there it goes.
Can I try to catch it?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Sabriel's also gonna try and catch it if he can.
All right.
Yeah, you both can make dexterity checks.
Yes.
Saving throws?
Do acrobatics. Acrobatics or athletics. Either one
I'll do
for
athletics.
either of you.
I will get
22.
a 19.
22 for me.
I put my wing there like I'm going to catch it, and then Sabriel's hand is there first.
Yeah, so you watch and you feel like your ghost like feathers, you feel it pass right through like a crevice of one of them. And then underneath Sabriel catches it in your hand.
Oh, Whistler, you're getting slow. I'm the big one. You're supposed to be fast. And he hands it back to M.
And M
For
goes
the rest of this encounter, I just stand there with my wings crossed.
Don't get your feathers all fluffed. It's fine.
M's like, oh, this is a piece I was looking for. And just puts it down. They're probably, for one window, they're like 75% done with one of them. So they've been making some good work done.
Are there any pieces that you're missing?
We swept up most of them. There could be some in what does Reverend Varkan call it? They don't know. In the very back of the church, there's like a big statue there of like a creepy guy with wings. We thought it was you because you
Me?
look really like him, but it wasn't you.
Oh.
But no, it's like in the back of the altar area, where the stained glass windows usually are. But we swept up most of them. There might be some pieces, but we won't know until we're done.
I might be able to help with that. And I'm going to cast Locate Object.
Okay, yeah.
To try and on the it's because it says describe name an object that is familiar to you, which is
you'll
the
be
stained
familiar
glass
with it.
window.
Yeah.
And so I would be able to detect where those pieces are if they're within 1,000 feet of me.
Yeah.
Can you do all of the pieces?
I'm gonna say stained glass window. You can do all of the pieces just to make it.
Okay.
If you do stained
Okay.
glass window,
Can I do something too then?
Yeah.
Because I was challenged.
Okay.
I look over my shoulder and I start talking to my ghost friend to help me
Okay.
find them. Specifically, so I'm using Whispers of the Dead. Whatever skill, what skill do you think it would be better for finding stuff?
Investigation.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give myself proficiency in that.
Would
That's my
I
ghost friend.
also like see the ghost
You
friend?
probably yes.
Yeah, you would see the ghost. Thray and him do not, but you two would.
So I just look over and like smirk a little bit.
Yeah. You also notice Tobias is also staring right next to Whistler.
I look at Tobias. And I go, that's weird. And then I look over at Sabriel, and then I like make a face like, we gotta find them first. Come on. And then we just like break out going.
Okay. So go ahead and make
I'm not gonna win
investigation.
because he has a magic spell to literally find things, but I'm gonna do my best.
Go ahead and make an investigation check with advantage because your friend is helping you.
Thank you, because that made it a 19 plus whatever my thing is. 19 plus investigation 4, so 23.
23. And SABRIEL, what would you like to do? You've located them. You know where they are.
Yeah. So now that SABRIEL knows exactly where they are, he's going to lean into M and just whisper, "That's the best way to get him to do chores."
Perfect. So,
and just he's going to smile and then slowly walk away. Plus, it's always best to give him a head start.
So, your friend glides over and is kind of like zooming around like a kind of like a will-o-wisp in the way that they move. And there's like one behind one of the pews. There's one behind like some like stacks of books. There's one just like off into the corner, like by what is it called? It doesn't matter. In the apps. Over near like on the bottom of like the altar. And there's another one that is near the statue. And as you like go to like reach over to pick it up, your ghost friend is like over there like just pointing at it so you can collect it.
I mean, I reached down to touch it, but that sounds like it's about to activate something.
Yeah. You, as you pick it up in your hand, it's about this big of a shard. And it's like a purplish indigo color. And as you kind of like hold it up into the light, looking at this statue, which is, as you know, the statue of the Death Warden, who he's clad in his armor, with his skeletal hand, his black angel wings, long hair, and then there's a veil that is like also over him. Everything is in this beautifully carved stone. What's interesting about this statue is it seems to be pretty pristine for everything else going on in the church. So Reverend Varkan has dedicated most of their time to guaranteeing that statue stays pristine. And you're holding up this glass. It's just
okay.
glass.
I'm I'm still excited by it.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
very
just, like,
pretty.
Walk around the church with like the little glass, like I got it first, and you see me just like very proudly walking back towards SABRIEL.
Oh.
I look up at SABRIEL and I go, "Ha! Who's the fastest now?" And then I take all of them out.
Are there any more around?
Yes. There's
Yeah, I would say there probably would be about like one or two more, but with how fast, I mean, there's probably like 11 pieces. Whistler got them very fast in the span of like a minute or two. Just darting.
Oh, that's excellent, Whistler. I actually felt that there was a few more this way, so I was about to go pick those up as well.
Wait, what? Are you pulling my leg?
No. Why would I ever pull your leg? That seems like a silly thing to do.
Because
You feel there's like a tug on your cloak near your leg, as your friend is trying to pull you in that direction.
Oh, I forgot something back there. I'll be right back. We'll finish this conversation in a minute. And then I run off, looking behind my shoulder like every few seconds.
Yeah, SABRIEL's not even going to try and go after it.
You should just like give me like the thought that you're about to move.
Yeah. He's just gonna start just going a little bit, and then just like the flash,
Right. And then I come back with whatever pieces that is.
Yeah, and Sabriel's just gonna look to him. He is actually much faster than me, but it's always entertaining when I get him just the edge right at the end there. So. And look, Whistler, you found all of the pieces. Wow, I didn't even have to...
yes, you stood no chance.
I did not. You got
So Im comes up to Whistler and takes the glass shards and kisses you on the cheek, and says, "Thank you so much. I thought we got all of them, but this is perfect. Thank you." And is right back into putting these glass windows back together. The Ray just kind of is helping her sister, but her sister's like super enthusiastic about doing it. And you hear like Im is like right next to Tobias and is just like laughing and giggling. And she's just like, "Wow, you're so funny, Tobias." It's like, but it's like just them. Like, is not communicating with like anybody else. As like you notice that Tobias is like, and Sabriel would keen on Tobias helping in a way of being kind of like, you can watch this cat like tap on one of the glass shards, and Im goes, "Oh, this is perfect," and like puts it there.
Yeah, you just see Sabriel smirk, like, because Sabriel spends probably the most time out of anybody with Tobias, so he kind of knows that Tobias is intelligent.
Yeah.
But he's also gonna tap Whistler and just be like, "See how happy you made them?
Oh,
yeah. You did that."
What? No, I was just trying.
Yeah, you helped them. Look how happy they are now.
That's nice.
Good job.
Ray just whispers a thank you to both of you, and is like talking with both of you and just kind of like communicating. Im, like putting the puzzle pieces together, just asks, "So which one of you stays in the big tower?"
Oh, me.
Oh, do you like it?
Yeah, it's kind of dark, and it gives me a lot of space, and I can see everything.
I also sleep in a tower as well, with Tobias actually most nights.
Oh. She looks kind of confused. Oh, oh. Well, I've never seen them, and I think it'd be really fun maybe if we go. And Thray is just kind of like, there's work, like you're doing like work. We're working. And you hear Thray like, they don't want to show you where they sleep. That's weird. She's like, no, it's not for me, silly.
Yeah, nonsense. If you haven't had a proper tour, then we would be happy to show you around.
Yeah, there's a bell up there. We don't use it much.
A bell?
A bell.
Does it work?
I don't know.
We can try.
I don't know if the Reverend would like us to do that.
And when as Whistler says that, yes, we should give it a try.
What? Wait.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So as you all kind of like, Im's like, let me just finish this one piece. And like for the next like 10 minutes, you watch as Tobias and her finish one stained glass. It still needs someone who is adept with glass blowing skills or metal work to put it up, but it's at least completed. And going over as like Im kind of shows you, it is massive. It's huge. It's like one huge panel that a panel of 6, I believe. 6? I'll look it up. But it's depicting obviously the Death Warden, and it's one of the sagas of the Death Warden. So this is somewhere in the middle. You're not quite sure what the time frame is, if it's before the infliction before the infliction, or when they cut all ties off the world. However, it depicts 3 other individuals. One is large or very tall individual, is like burly, and another individual is feminine and has a silk wrapping around her eyes to indicate that she is blind in some way. And then the third individual is kind of like slender, non-binary, and they hold like a huge tome in their arm.
I don't think I've ever seen this finished.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. Maybe Reverend Varkan has, but I think this broke a long time before we got here.
Yeah. You
Awesome.
kids are amazing.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Oh.
But every good deed needs a reward, right? So let's give you that tour.
All right.
Bell tower. And then M just goes and
yeah.
I'm like,
runs
we
off.
Can't let Reverend Varkan know.
It'll be fine. Look, and he's gonna kneel down in front of Whistler. They have been through a horrifying ordeal, and we need to be able to show them that there is still light in the world.
Oh, I agree.
So a little hijinks is healthy.
I just I hope the bell holds out. I really don't know if it's going to work.
I'm just gonna smack it with my staff on the side.
Oh, okay. Great. Just don't break any of this the wood holding it up, because I sleep up there. And then he keeps walking.
So as you all go up, Izzy, Reverend Varkan, you find WYTHE.
I just texted.
Hello. You're muted. My blind sense cannot pick you up.
Hello, Reverend.
Hello.
Hi, Izzy.
Isidora and I were speaking just now on the tree.
Oh.
We were considering next steps, and I think it might be helpful for everyone going forward if we're just honest about what we know and what we don't. Like, what the hell is going on? Do you know what's going on? Because you seem real connected to this tree, and I don't want to assume. I think I've done enough of that so far. What the fuck?
WYTHE actually might chuckle at that, a little bit. Izzy, listen, and Reverend. Do I know what's going on? No, absolutely not. Do I have a connection with that tree? Maybe. I don't really know. I grew up really close to the Sanguine Wilds, where I'm sure you at this point know where this tree exists. I never expected to see one down here. It's probably why I reacted so strangely. Honestly. I don't know why.
Does it not normally respond in that way when you touch it?
No. No, this is a very strange version of the tree. I've never seen one that looks like that before. That's why I didn't recognize it right away. They look much different near the Sanguine Wilds. Maybe it's the uniqueness of the soil. You know, maybe it's the reason that those people came back to life. The same way that maybe someone took a sapling Asvithe tree and planted it here, and that's what it became. I'm not really sure. I don't really know. I don't really know why it looks like that or how it could be down here. It's a long way for a sapling to travel.
I mean, trees don't usually bite back at you when you slap them, so it seems pretty insistent on being here. That kind of, I don't know, aggression in a plant just doesn't happen by itself.
Well, have you tried asking your god? Because iconography is everywhere, and I mean,
That is a complicated question. You see, your heroes, like many of the gods, left this plane a long time ago and has not been seen for some time. Contacting him is, well, not a particularly easy task. He doesn't exactly answer my prayers. Not anymore.
but he did at one point.
Maybe. For as long as I can recall, he's never really given me clear instructions. I asked him about you all. Didn't get much of a response.
Why do you follow him if he doesn't respond to you?
Well, he's still real. He's still the keeper of his domain. He's just not here.
Am I the only person that doesn't subscribe to the entire idea that a god that is absent is not one that should be worshipped?
Who is your god?
I don't have one.
I think there's something to having an insurance policy, but I think that speaks for itself. I don't know about just faith for faith's sake, but just in case they decide to show up. But if he hasn't said anything to you at all, and you're kind of the only person around here that seems to really give a fuck, I mean, maybe we can provoke him? Or, what's the other word? The nice word for making somebody come out to where you want him to be. That's not a trap.
Invite?
Yes! We can invite him.
May I posit a supposition? I don't know that he answers me in the way that I particularly expect. I think that you two being here is in some ways an answer to a prayer.
Interesting. I mean, I can't say that you're wrong. I don't know. I didn't feel a pull to come here until, we were forced by circumstance.
But what an interesting set of circumstances. Things like that don't happen every day.
Yeah, but I don't know if we can wait for another, unstable preacher to cause somebody else running here.
I don't think we have to. I think we're pretty well set as we are. That being said, we might discover more as we travel to the border.
Right. When are we leaving for the border?
I mean, as soon, I guess, as everybody feels confident with the repairs. I know that Thray and Im are particularly excited to repair the stained glass windows, and I do suppose they probably would be upset if I tried to make them stop that before they were finished. But I'm more or less ready to go when everybody else is.
I guess that begs another question. We did spend a lot of time cleaning up this lovely place of yours. If we leave, what's protecting it from being vandalized again?
Well, I suppose nothing, but if you, by some sort of power that you may possess, have the ability to keep this place safe while we are gone, I'm more than happy to have that as a service. I myself, as you can see, am not capable of such a thing, which is why this place has fallen into such disrepair. But perhaps one day I might be able to fend for myself here, should everyone decide to go on their way.
I'll see what I can do.
I appreciate it. And I wish to apologize. I have to admit that the last couple of days have been a little wearying for me. I have been seeking answers for a very long time. And the moment that you walked into this place, I have been having experiences I've never had before. And I don't know what they mean or what is going to happen. But whatever is going on, you are a part of it. Both of you are. I want to know where it is that I come from. I want to remember what it is that I know. And something about you has triggered something in me. I want to keep going until I've found out what it means. Perhaps there are answers for all of us, not just me.
I'm sure you've spent plenty of time scouring every book or every tome that you have on your religion and yourself. Maybe before we leave, I'd like to take a look through whatever text you might have. Maybe I pick up on something that you've looked over.
Of course, if you are interested in, of course, you are welcome. Do you know where my study is?
I don't.
I will show it to you then at some point.
Okay.
But perhaps first we should gather up with the rest. It's been oddly quiet.
I agree.
Except I hear giggling. What is going on?
Okay, there's been like a scurrying sound around, and I didn't know what it was. I still don't know what it is, but I don't want to say I don't know. We'll find out.
Just slightly a few minutes before that.
You watch
Smash cut.
as Ib and Tobias is like running up the staircase in front of him, and M is just following Tobias. Who lives in which tower?
Yeah, I live in the bell tower.
You live in the bell tower.
Yeah, and I would live in like what would probably have been what would be like the mage's tower or whatever that might be.
Okay, so it's like the other spire connected. So it would be
Yeah.
the two spires of the church, and then one would be the main bell tower, and then one would be more of like a lookout point, or mostly used in protections, I should say, like if you needed to have like a ballista on the church or something. Like that's where it would go.
The bell tower and the lighthouse almost, yeah.
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 That's a good way to put the bell tower and the lighthouse.
Classic church. Sorry, someone in the chat for us wrote classic church ballista, and I can't unsee that.
Okay. So you watch as Tobias leads you all up, with him, to Whistler's bedroom.
Okay. When we go in here, please don't touch that much stuff. I own like 3 things, and I don't want to lose
I'm
them.
not gonna touch anything.
Okay.
All right?
And you guys,
Except
you guys
the
are
bell.
fine.
I'll touch the bell.
All right. I open the door, and then I go, see, there's the bell tower. Close the door. See, we did it.
Sabriel's just gonna stand there with his arms crossed, eyebrow raised, just like.
And then I open the door back up.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna be to M. How old is M?
M's not that young. M is like 15.
15. Okay, but still, like
she's not
all
a child.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So it just leans into M. We'll just leave his stuff alone. But see that rope over there? That is the one you pull to make the bell ring. Go ahead, go pull it. And he's just gonna hold his staff up ready because he knows that the work that probably doesn't work at all.
Yeah. So you watch as M just looks at this rope and just walks past it. And you watch as Tobias is like clawing on stuff, and is trying to like get down underneath like the bed, and is like really doing that cat thing of like trying to like claw your things. And M goes over and kind of picks him up and like, you silly kitty, stop that. Whistler said not to touch anything. And
Thank you.
is holding Tobias, but is doing that cat thing where he's just like doing this and he's like, put me down.
Does Tobias say what he's trying to get? Sabriel's gonna ask him.
And she kind of does this thing and like wiggles the butt like this. No, he just wants underneath the bed.
Can you ask him why?
Sure. Why? Ah. You silly killy. Like, you can't read. And like, just like puts him down.
What did you mean by when you said he can't read?
He says like there's like a book or something he's trying to get.
There's a book.
And Sabriel's just gonna look to Whistler and point like, do you mind if I... Okay. And he's gonna lift up the bed.
Okay. Make an Arcana check. And Whistler too. With advantage, because this is Whistler's bedroom. So this would not... And Whistler's an investigator, so this wouldn't be weird to you.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one I rolled was a 9, with a total of 10, and then I rolled a nat 20.
Okay.
Okay. You win with that. I rolled a 1 and then a 16, so...
Okay. As you pull this bed, Whistler doesn't really like anyone in Whistler's room.
No.
He's like, don't come in my room. Like, this is... So you're not really... for Sabriel, you're not like... You don't come in here very often, if ever.
And probably neither does Tobias.
And neither does Tobias. Whistler and Tobias have this thing of being like... Whistler does not want pets in this room. You don't sleep on the bed. You don't claw my stuff. They have
You
a
don't
very,
come
like...
past the threshold.
They don't go past the threshold. And Tobias is like... clawing at everything the moment he can. You move the bed, and there's like indentions like carved into underneath this bed. Like underneath the bed on the floor, there's like a circle, and then it has some like weird markings that are like etched in. And then underneath, like Whistler, you would kind of see, like, take notice of right away, like where there's underneath this wooden planks, there's like in the far back, almost corner of this circle, is like a little, it looks like something like got broken. Like one of the planks is like broken a little bit.
Did you know that was there?
No.
Hmm.
That's very odd.
Sabriel's gonna like still holding the bed up with one hand and then reach down with the other to the like broken area and try and see if there's something inside of it.
Yeah. You see that the broken area is like similar to like a normal hand size. And you can like, it's more like a latch.
A normal hand size?
Not a normal hand size, not a Sabriel hand size.
Okay.
Like a normal hand size. Yeah. Of like a latch, like a someone like broke off a piece of it when they were trying to pull it up the plank.
Yeah, so it's gonna reach in and I guess pull the latch or pull open whatever the thing is.
Yeah. As you open it, you Whistler, who is like trying to hold on to Tobias. There's like hay almost underneath. And then there's like a cloth.
Ah.
What? Em, why don't you let Tobias go?
Okay. And she just like puts him down gently. And Tobias like goes up and starts like sniffing it, and then is like pawing at the cloth and then sees the hay and then like that cat eyes and just starts playing with the hay and then the cloth.
So yeah, Sabriel's gonna reach down and pull whatever is under the cloth out.
Oh, okay. So it's about this big, and something's wrapped.
If I grab some of the hay that the cat is playing with and throw it down the stairs, will the cat chase it? Can I try?
Yeah, try.
Because I kind of want the cat out of the room. Is that an athletics roll?
That'd be an animal handling check.
Okay. I have a 2.
Nice.
That's gonna be. That's a 15.
A 15.
Yeah. Oh no. You know, with the 13 I rolled, I was like, that's pretty good. And then
that's pretty good.
I have a 2.
So Whistler, you grab some of the hay and you're kind of doing the tossing in the air thing, and you start to lead Tobias out of the door. And then you toss it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he just sits down. and just looks up at what Sabriel's holding.
I don't like that.
I mean, I could throw this down the stairs
Oh,
if you
no,
really want him out of the room that much.
No, it's more what that is.
Yeah. So Sabriel's going to take the cloth off and look at what this is.
So you see, cloth is old, very old. And inside is a book. Very like weathered, weathered on the weathered pages, and it is like a black leather book. It is locked.
All right. Well, I think this is probably something for the Reverend to take a look at instead of us.
Absolutely. And now I know there are secrets all over. I have to redouble my efforts.
Yeah,
And then-
no, I mean, for someone who searches out secrets, one was right under your bed.
Well, why would I think that there was a secret in the bed? I sleep
I mean,
up there. a
You
lot
should
of the
be
nights.
thinking of everything, right? And
Right.
Sabriel's just having a blast with this right now.
You watch as Tobias starts to try to climb his way up Sabriel.
Who is still shirtless, by the way.
Yeah.
So you just see him climbing up. And he's just gonna grab him off of his back as his claws are digging in. Just... Yes, you can be near the book.
No, what?
Actually,
And he's trying to touch it.
no.
Ah.
Be nice.
Ah.
All right. And he's gonna set Tobias down. Whistler,
Wait.
can you hold on to this, please?
The book?
Yes, the book. not
I'm
the cat.
way closer to the floor to the cat.
All right, that's fair. And he's gonna look over to M and just be like, "M, would you be a darling and pull that rope for me?"
Sure.
And
she's going to play it.
yeah, so pulling the rope, Sabriel's assuming that it doesn't do anything. So as she pulls the rope, he's just gonna smack the side of the bell with his
Whoa.
staff.
Wow. You all hear the Reverend Wythe, Izzy, this resonating bell chime.
He's gonna
above
do
you.
it he's gonna wait a second and then do it 2 more times, waiting each time so it sounds like it's actually ringing.
Wow.
Thank you, M. Now the Reverend will come to us. And yes, Whistler, we can walk down the stairs so there's no one else in your room.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, did I put the bed back in the right place?
No. And then I lean over and I bump it back into the right place, the exact place that it was. As we leave, this time he goes back to the door and he locks it
Okay.
behind him. And then he looks back at the room and then walks down the stairs.
Did Tobias leave before us, or did he just lock Tobias in the room?
Tobias
not
would be with you.
Okay.
And at that moment, as you are descending down, you see kind of Reverend Varkan, Izzy, and Wythe waiting at the bottom, just looking at you all.
It wasn't my idea.
At the sight of Wythe and Isidora, you're gonna see Sabriel get a little sheepish because he's still not wearing a shirt. He's used to being around Whistler and Reverend Varkan. He's not used to being around Isidora and Wythe.
It's true. Reverend Varkan wouldn't care.
So just
Really wouldn't.
it just so he crosses it holding the book, crosses his arms a little bit, and then just we found a secret book on the floor underneath Whistler's bed. I'll be back. I'm gonna go put a shirt on really quickly, and then he's just going to walk past. And as he does, if anyone is paying attention, he's covered in scars.
And there's 2 or 3 claw marks on the back that are
Fresh.
kind of bloody. They're fresh.
I go, whoa, I don't think I've ever seen Sabriel blush before. I still didn't, but like, you know it was happening.
Wythe whispers to Izzy, "Oh my god. Sabriel and Whistler?"
You know, honestly, it's not natural for a bell tower to ring 27 times in a row.
And they said
27.
It was
they said they were on the bed, and he was shirtless, and there were scratch marks in
was
his back.
so nervous.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Thray is just standing right next to the two of you.
Also, Whistler's there too.
Yeah, and Im
But
is just
they're like whispering to each other.
yeah.
Okay.
I think Izzy just looks at Whistler and goes, do you guys need a little bit more time to wash up?
Back, yeah,
What is-
it's okay.
Or,
We were ringing the bell.
yeah.
With M and Thray.
That makes
Whistler.
Oh no, it's oh.
All right. There will be no more of any of that. Thray, if you would like to go back to your puzzles, I would
Yeah.
appreciate it. I have some things that I need to discuss with the adults in the room.
Yeah, of course, Reverend Varkan. I mean, if you need us, we'll be in the chambers.
Can you take your cat?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then M kind of
Since
walks
when
up,
is
right?
Tobias their cat?
I mean, he's not, but we gotta just trust me. Hey, Tobias can play with you guys and do puzzles.
Yeah. Come on, Tobias.
Does he move? No.
Tobias.
I'm
And just
gonna
kind of
walk
looks
over.
looks over at like Sabriel, kind of confused. And that's fine. He can hang out with me later. I've been spending too much time with him.
No, I definitely think
now
the
what
cat
on-
should go.
And she
what-
just skips off.
I'm gonna.
And then
What is
there's,
your problem, Whistler? What is going on?
Tobias, with Reverend Varkan there, just starts to like gurgle and purr and like rubs up against you and is like meow meow.
Little fool. What is wrong with you, Whistler? You seem to be in quite the mood right now.
You know what? It's nothing.
Now I know better than to trust you when I say that.
Yes. In this situation, we'll just say we found the book. Let's talk later. Please.
All right.
Sabriel's going to come back with a shirt and he's going to run back. Sorry, I'm here. Did you take a look at the book?
Well, I just now got it, though Tobias seems very excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Tobias was the one who found it. He
Tobias
somehow knew where it was.
Told the girls that and has been trying to look in said book and touch it. So I don't think we should let that happen.
Why on earth not? Tobias has been here for a very long time. He was my assistant before the two of you showed up. There is no part of this, of the grounds of Gravehaven that he does not know. Though I find it very interesting that you're only just now showing me this, Tobias.
Yeah, has the cat never been in your room before?
Absolutely not. Why would I let the cat in the room?
Is this an Arakoka? Not an Arakoka. Is this a Kenku thing? Do you just not like cats?
It has nothing to do with the cat. The cat knows more than it should know. And it shouldn't be knowing things or hiding things in my room or knowing that things were hidden in my room and not telling me. Zebulon didn't even know that thing was there. And Zebulon knows a lot.
Why wouldn't Zebulon have seen it?
I don't know. That's what's weird about it.
Can you describe how did you find the book? What was the state of the situation? Just start from the beginning. Tell me everything.
Well, I got the nat 20 on Arcana. So can I just describe what the runes and stuff were to Reverend Varkan?
So it is a ritual circle You know that right off the bat. You've seen a few in your day, or at least with the lantern. It is a ritual circle that has been etched into the room. And although you're not, what was the total?
21.
Okay. Being from Solvent, it is necromantic. It's necromancy.
Yeah. So I'll repeat that and say, I'm from Solvent, so yeah, I did recognize that the circle is necromantic, but beyond that, I don't know what it's for.
Fascinating. It appears to be locked.
Might be a
I don't suppose you found a key.
Not at least where it was hidden. I can ask Zeb, but if he didn't see the book up there, I doubt he'll know exactly what the key is. And we run around these halls all the time.
Perhaps the circle was meant to dissuade the dead from accessing that particular area. Interesting.
Or make it invisible to them entirely.
Also possible. Izzy, what was it you were saying before
just now?
about texts?
Oh, that there was mention of the tree in let me make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's a few religious texts that mention the tree, but that when it does, it's kind of separate from Yoheros. It's around, but it's not like he made the tree or like a direct interaction with it. But also I want to posit something and maybe we could just ask the tree.
Interesting. That's, always better to go directly to the source, I say. I think that we have a couple of things that we need to cover then. We should attempt to commune with the tree. We should try to find the key for this book so that I may peruse its WYTHE, if you are interested in perhaps accompanying me in that endeavor, you are more than welcome to join. And then, of course, I guess we must determine next steps once those have been taken care of.
I know that SABRIEL just described the circle in great detail. Would it be possible to perhaps copy it down in a book or something? For reference?
I have. Would you be interested, or would you mind next time you are up in your room taking a look at the circle and copying it down for us? I know you value your privacy, so we will not impose upon you further, but if you do not mind, before you turn in for the night, making a copy of the ritual circle and its inscriptions for us, that would be most helpful.
I can do it right now. I have mimicry, and I can copy stuff down that I've seen. And
That's awesome.
Perfect!
Yeah.
That works
Kanku
really
are
well.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm about to copy that. You just see him go, I can do one better. Keep you all out of my room.
Except for SABRIEL.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's Kinku Recall. Is what it is. Expert duplication. I can copywriting, craft work produced by myself or someone else. I have advantage on it to make it exactly the same. So I get to roll. What is a produce craftwork roll?
That would be probably performance or sleight of hand. Well, maybe sleight of hand.
Is going to be better.
Let's do sleight of hand because I feel like there's just more. I know it sounds interesting.
So with
I feel like it's more
advantage,
delicate.
that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Mhm.
Where are you copying this down?
I mean, I need a book. I'm gonna go run and grab a book.
Okay. Any book?
Yeah, I like any
notebook?
parchment.
A notebook?
A handy dandy notebook.
A notebook?
Yes.
Okay. So you grab a random book and you begin to perfectly finish the ritual circle in this book.
Which is probably not the best for the non-magical. To do.
There are pieces. Okay. Here, question for Whistler.
Mhm.
Would Whistler be the kind of bird to copy it exactly, or to fill in details?
In this situation, he would have just copied it exactly
Okay.
because that was what was requested.
Okay. So you see perfectly replicated the sigil with markings that are missing. And when I say like markings that are missing, I mean like you could tell it's the letter A, but it doesn't have like a piece of the A. Like you can tell what the sigil is, but it's not complete.
I'm doing even like the little missing. That's awesome.
That's yeah. So you're doing the missing pieces of what it actually looks like. But you can all kind of surmise what it would look like if it was completed. Anyone is able to make a Arcana check or anything, whatever you would wish. Yeah.
Whoa.
Wythe is jumping for joy.
Please. I would
it's
love to
easy
do an
Wythe.
Arcana check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a 22 in Arcana.
19.
And 19. Reverend
Also,
Varkan.
yeah, also a 19.
It is a necromancy ritual. Everyone gets different answers because you're all from different places. So, Reverend Rakan, necromancy and the Death Warden are in the same wheel. I would say in the same wheelhouse, kind of together. What's interesting is the sigils remind you of the sigils that SABRIEL showed you on the druids. It's the same language but a different written form. Almost like a different dialect. The sigils that are written down on this necromancy circle are older, which is why you are more familiar with them. They do not come from Solvent or even the other coast. They're similar in nature to probably about 1,000 or more so years old. Old. Izzy, what did you get? Oh, Izzy.
Sorry. 19.
19. Dealing with your family's mortuary, and dealing with you spend a lot of time with rituals and sigils, and especially your mother is very keen on the written form language of death. And piecing this ritual together it's almost as if it is a necromancy mixed with transmutation. And the sigils, the way that they are aligned together or work with each other, are reminiscent of perhaps what your mother would have known. Like if your mother knew the new language, Reverend Varkan would know the old language of the same dialect. So it's almost as if you're reading Latin, but you know another love language. So you're aware of kind of what it is. It's just there's some things that are missing. Why? This is a dark magic. There is different forms of rituals that you're aware of. That there are good rituals and there are bad rituals. This is negative. This is a negative necrotic. Not because it's necromancy, because you have learned that there can be good forms of necromancy, but this was an intention of, you get a sense of like greed of power, and you can, like, looking at this ritual, it is a custom ritual. So it is a ritual that someone had created themselves that could have been a spell or a ritual that they made to better fit their needs. You're not sure if it is a curse of some kind, but that is like the feeling or energy that you get from this ritual.
You're muted.
Every time. Would I be able to tell if you said I wasn't able to tell if it was a curse. Not sure if it's a curse. Then never mind. Okay.
But you watch as Tobias is very interested in still kind of purring and going against Reverend Rakon's like legs as you're holding this book.
It's interesting. I recognize this language. It is a very old dialect, nearly 1,000 years old.
Izzy, you thought it looked familiar. I could see it on your face.
Yeah, it's druid-esque, but like the Reverend said, it's a much older version. The kind I grew up around was a lot more, I don't know, casual than this. This is something else.
Well, whatever it is, it's not good.
How do you mean?
We all know that there's good necromancy out there. I mean, obviously. We've seen it, I think. Each of us, probably. But this is not that. This is incredibly negative in nature. Greedy, almost. And it's not normal in a way that you'd find it written in any book. Someone made this.
Can I ask what Tobias is doing to that reaction?
Make a perception check.
Nice. That is going to be 18, 19, 20, 21.
21. You watch as Tobias is continuing to purr and rub up against Reverend Varkan. But you're very intuitive. You get a sense that Tobias fully understands this conversation. and you get a sense with just Whistler that you see a glimpse of someone who is acting.
Yep. All right. I'm going to say, you know what? We should come back to this book and ruminate on it. And I look over at the Reverend, who probably can't see me, but I'm like, please, can we take a break for a bit?
Of course.
All right. All right, let's go. I will take this book for right now, just to keep it safe. I know some hiding places. Reverend, can I talk to you in your study?
Of course. Are you sure we want to hide the book?
I'm sure.
All right.
Yes. And that's what I'm gonna end that.
Yeah, Sabriel is gonna look at Whistler questioningly, but it's going to just not say anything.
Yeah.
So Whistler and Reverend Varkan, you walk off, leaving Wythe, Izzy, and Sabriel.
And the cat.
The cat you all watch is starting to follow Whistler.
So Sabriel's gonna reach down and pick up Tobias with one hand.
Okay. Easy enough. And you see is like Tobias is like kind of clawing to like get off of you. But as you're like holding him and kind of like petting him in the right spots, he just kind of calms down. He's just sitting there, but like watching the two of them walk away. And that is where we're going to take our break. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So grab water, hang out. Yeah, thank you so much.
Vibes.
Yeah.
The thought plickens.
Yes,
No.
please.
And welcome back. So, you all have different agendas. I suppose. Some of you are going.
We got shit to do.
You got shit to do. You got You're doing the book with Whistler and Reverend Khan. The more information about the tree, trying to figure out where you are all going next. You also have Horace and Thray and M and Jen as well is still here. Whistler, Reverend Rakan, as you go off into Reverend Rakan's chambers, working chambers. I assume Whistler
So
closes the door behind
Whistler
you.
closes the door, and then he goes, "Okay, I know that was really awkward. I'm really sorry."
I mean, never mind. Go ahead.
Are you saying I'm awkward all the time? And he like brushes the little hair over his eye, his little feather.
I said nothing.
Okay. Anyway, so that cat. What's awkward about that cat is the cat was telling the little girl it wanted to read the book. I don't know if the book is this evil necromantic thing. That doesn't bode very well for the cat. But 2, it knew exactly where it was. And I could see when WYTHE started talking about it being really dark magic, the cat began purring extra loud, really like it was trying to prove that it wasn't listening. But there was this sense of understanding of what was being talked about around it. And I just don't think we should be talking about that book until we know what's going on in front of that cat. And I'm not saying that just because I don't like cats, even though I don't like cats. But yeah, that's not what it is, I promise.
Tobias has been around for a very long time. I'm not saying that your suspicions are somehow unfounded. I've always found Tobias to be quite strange myself, but he's never even... I mean, if he wanted me to find that book, I imagine I would have found it, but he didn't ever lead me up there to try and find it. I don't know what about the specific timing of right now finally convinced him. But if you're concerned about the cat, then we will make sure he is not allowed to come near the book.
Here's the part that's making me nervous.
Oh,
The cat knew where this book was, even though it hasn't been in that room for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of hiding places around here that I could hide this book, but if there's magic leading that cat to it, it won't matter if we can't stop it from being able to find it. That's what worries me. I said I was going to hide it, knowing that the cat, being a cat, is going to be able to get in places pretty sneakily. And they're kind of good at that, I guess. But...
Well, here's the thing. I think that the book will be safe in here. I don't allow Tobias to come into this room. And for the most part, nobody ever visits me here either. The book will be safe here with the rest of the tomes.
You're right. Okay. Also, maybe, what's her name?
What?
Yeah, WYTHE. Maybe, she knows how to do something like that. She's, like, magically inclined, you know?
Oh, you mean creating some sort of ritual circle or something? Perhaps. I did mention to her that if she had any such skill with perhaps making this place a little bit better safeguarded, then I would happily accept the help. So perhaps something of that nature, perhaps the door of my study might be in order. But we will look into it. I appreciate that you are always so astute and perceptive, Whistler. I know that I can come down a bit harsh on you sometimes, but I want you to understand that the only reason why I'm strict about certain things is because while it is important to seek knowledge where you can, some things you stick your nose into and it'll get cut off.
You've always led me down the right path. Thank you, Reverend.
I've done my best. I can show you the way, but only you can walk it. Don't discount the work that you've been doing too.
All right. I'll go talk to White and try to just let her know if the cat's not around. If the cat's around, I'll pretend like I'm sweeping. No one knows when I'm sweeping that I'm not.
Of course, no one knows that when you're sweeping, you're not actually sweeping.
I walk out the door.
No, he doesn't make an insight check. Excellent. I appreciate it.
So you, Wythe, Izzy, Sabriel, you watch as Whistler comes back to you all.
I imagine this entire time, Wythe's just been looking at Sabriel like, Whistler's really nice. He seems sweet.
I mean, I suppose. We've known each other for many, many years. He's like a brother to me.
Huh.
Is there
Okay.
something wrong?
No, nothing.
Like brothers in arms, kind of.
Like a stepbrother.
He does use me as a step sometimes, yes.
I bet he does.
That's
Whistler!
What? That was really nice. That was a really nice welcome. Thank you.
You see Tobias just stares at you.
Ah. Hey, kitty. No time for you. White. The Reverend said something about you agreed to help with some stuff. Maybe.
Huh.
Yeah, they're in the study.
They're in the study?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I'll go do that. You have a fun time catching up.
Oh, you were hanging out with my best bud here. And I lean over, lean on his leg.
Just taps the top of the head.
Right, yeah. When their backs are turned, Wythe is gonna look at Izzy and be like, and mouth. She doesn't say this, but this is just for you guys. She's gonna mouth, watch them. Super cute. And walk away.
So, Isidora, have you thought as to your plans after you leave here? Are you planning on staying, or?
Well, I do need to go home at some point, but I really want to see where this goes. So for right now, all I have is plans for the rest of the day. I want to go to the tree, and and she kind of looks around, like instinctively. I want to ask the tree, like for real, I want to talk to the tree. I don't do it a lot, but I want to ask them something. I'm going to have to speak to the Reverend about it, but that's the number one thing I want to do. And if that brings us a couple more days of work, then I guess we'll all have to stay together. It seems
what do you think the tree will say back?
I don't know. Honestly, it sounds like it's gonna, sound really scary and say something terrifying. Like, I've been here forever. And, we'll see. But
just be cautious after what happened last time.
Do trees from different places have different accents?
At that, Sabriel's just gonna give Whistler this look.
Wait,
I've
never talked to a tree before. Think about it. Spirits from different places have different languages, different ways of talking, right? So maybe trees talk in different languages or accents, or but they have their own lingo. Is there tree slang?
No, I think it's more like if a tree is closer to water, then the word for water will be easier to say than like fire or snow or something. It's all regional. It's kind of hard to understand, but yes, they have accents.
That's so interesting.
So cool. It's really cool. It's nice to be able to. Usually can only chat about this stuff with my family, so yeah, I'll tell you about it if I get to talk to the tree.
I think you might have a druid trainee here.
I don't like trees that much.
I'm just saying it could be a different path from all the sneaking around and
The sneaking around is the best part. Shh, I'm listening.
Yeah, but imagine sneaking around in a tree that you can ask to help you sneak around better.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's true.
No. Me, Zeb is all I need. Zeb is. Oh wait, I've said this a couple of times. Do you know who Zebulon is?
No. I thought maybe he worked in the temple.
Oh, no, he doesn't work here. He's been gone a long time.
I mean, he technically does work here still.
That's true. If maybe some other time Sabriel can help show him to you. He's not following Sabriel. He's different. But he's a spirit who I've known since I was young. He's really nice. And he's really good at a lot of things.
He's just tied to you? You didn't know him before?
No, I actually don't know why he's there. But he's always been really cool. He's helped me out of a lot of stuff. That's actually how I met the Reverend. Yeah, the Reverend saw that I could do that. It's weird, but the Reverend was surprised and gave me a home when no one else would. So
I had a similar situation as well.
Is that why you guys get along so well? And she points to Sabriel and Whistler.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
I would trust this guy with anything.
And
It
likewise.
means a lot to me.
And while we do joke around and tease each other from time to time, it is always good to know someone has your back. Sometimes, quite literally.
Literally on the back. Watch this.
Oh.
And then I climb up.
Yeah.
Oh.
And on the perch.
Oh. Okay. That's very cute. That's wonderful.
It's
Okay.
a good vantage point.
Good for throwing.
Meanwhile, Wythe, you come to the door of Reverend Varkan's study.
Come in.
Hi, Reverend. Are you ready to look over some of those texts we spoke about earlier?
Of course. Please come on in. Sit down.
What does Wythe see when she walks into your chamber?
So the entire room is black, made of black Gavin ebony wood. I have an example nearby.
Prepare.
It's all in this very dark black.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is really gorgeous. Wow. Not sponsored by Wormwood, but Wormwood, if you want to sponsor us, hit me up. But yes, the entire room is that sort of beautifully, deeply lacquered black ebony wood. And to one side, you see an altar filled with candles. And Yoharis iconography, and then to the others, in front of you, in the same wood, but this time lacquered it probably was a desk that's shown once. Like it was probably a long time ago, a desk that you could walk up to and look into it and see your reflection because it was so shiny.
Wow.
But obviously the luster of the lacquer has worn off with age, and so there's still a dull shine, but it's not as you can see the nicks and like just the wear and tear of countless years on this desk. But it's big, it's very solid. The chairs are kind of like these slope backed, kind of almost like the chairs you see sometimes that are like, I don't know how to describe it, but they've got like the scoop instead of like the straight, like, but they're kind of built like that from the wood. They've got these like big plush velvet cushions in them that have also started to like wear and thin in places, but are in this beautiful like black velvet with like gold trim. It's aesthetic. It's like hardcore aesthetic in here.
How Gothic of you, almost as if that's the theme.
Almost, yeah. Lots of beautiful candelabra all over, like just like some tall standing ones. Like it's very pretty. It's all candlelit. It's very pretty. Like you can tell that like this is not a wall that's like facing either the sunrise or the sunset. So that like there's never any direct light in here. So it's actually quite dark. For somebody who doesn't see, that doesn't matter so much. But you can see the Reverend Varkan has been like going around lighting the candles, and they're just sort of finishing up when you walk in.
That's very considerate of you, Reverend.
Well, I don't really perceive the darkness in this room, but I know by experience and time that this is not the most particularly bright of rooms. Whistler and SABRIEL can navigate it fairly well. They're both pretty decent in the dark, but I know not everybody is inclined to it.
Well, it's also very helpful for all your text. The less light, the less the texts get damaged, especially if they're old.
Oh, I think I knew that. But that is an interesting thing to know. Here, why don't you come on over? Are you thirsty? Would you perhaps like some tea or anything like that? Oh yeah, to one side there's probably like a wall, like a fireplace in it, whatever. Like a little teapot is like slung over it, kind of a thing.
Is it an Aki character if they don't like tea?
No, it's not. It's not an Aki character. Like this is what I would tweet if like I had been kidnapped by somebody, but I didn't want them to know. Be like, I am building a character that hates tea, and that's how people would know that like something is wrong with me. They'd be like, "Oh, fake news." Like, I love tea, y'all. Tea makes me happy.
I would love to share some tea with you, Reverend. I don't know if I've had I actually haven't had that much.
All right then. And they actually have like a little mortar and pestle, like kind of on a stand next to the fireplace, and they kind of start pulling out some various things and kind of crushing them together, and then like kind of dump it into the strainer, and they bring over a couple of cups and set them down. The water is probably already like kept warm, or at least at a certain temperature anyways, just kind of propped up by the fire. And they pour that into the teapot, and they bring it over, and they sit down on the other side of the desk and give that a few moments, and it'll be ready soon.
Reverend,
Yes.
should we start with the most impending question? Or would you like to delve into other texts that have been vexing for you that you think you could get more answers from?
Well, I don't suppose it really benefits us to beat around the bush. So if you have a particular preference, I'm happy to go either way, but impendence seems to imply importance.
I just feel as if this locked tome in particular since it is shrouded in such negative energy, I don't feel comfortable now that it has been uncovered, leaving it alone for very long. Who knows if that ritual was sealing it from something?
Not keeping us out, but keeping it in.
Perhaps.
Earlier, when I was speaking with Whistler, he expressed some concerns about the book, similar to yours. He would feel more comfortable as well, making sure the book has some sort of protection. I had thought to leave it in here, but now I am wondering, based on the general idea that I'm getting from you and from Whistler, if we should not bring it with us on our journey. There is much in here to be discovered once we find the key. Probably more than I will be able to consume in the time before we depart.
Reverend, may I hold the book for a moment?
Of course. They gesture to the book that's on the table.
On your desk, is there a letter opener?
Yeah, I mean, there'd be letter openers, some quill, ink, a few like loose parchments. It looks like the desk of, somebody who spends a lot of time like contemplating.
Wythe is going to go over to a letter opener of yours, go to the book, and prick the tip of her finger.
Okay.
I see you, Finn.
I'm just sitting here.
And Wythe is going to squeeze a few drops of blood into the keyhole.
Okay. Make an Arcana check.
Oh! Love when that happens. Damn, okay. That is a 24.
Wow. You watch as the blood seeps down into the keyhole and is absorbed.
What happened?
To be completely honest with you, I am not entirely sure. Growing up near the Sanguine Wilds, I am relatively familiar with blood magic, which is why I was able to pick up on the vampire so quickly. I was
see.
wondering if this book had any affinity for blood.
Huh. What does Reverend Varkan know about blood witches?
Make you can make history or arcana. And depending on what you pick, you'll get different answers.
I'm going to choose history for now.
History. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Nope. That's only gonna be a 7.
7.
What's up with you, my dice? Come on.
You have not really encountered any blood witches, or you may have heard that there could be covens out there, but you're not fully aware of what they can do. Reading Death's Edict, they don't really come up in any of the writings. Blood magic does, but in particular blood witches, and not really.
Were you able to successfully open the lock?
No, I don't believe. I'm not sure if there's any correlation between blood and the key necessarily. She's gonna try and open the book just in case.
As you go to try to open the book, it doesn't budge.
Yeah. I had a feeling.
Would you imagine that with more blood it might eventually unlock the book, or simply that the book hungers for blood because of its necromantic nature?
Maybe the right blood would open it.
I see. Perhaps Tobias knows who has the right blood. That cat may be of use after all.
I was wondering about that. Since Tobias was the one that figured it out, have you ever been able to speak with Tobias? I know some people have an affinity to talk to animals, like Im.
No, he's never spoke to me, as I recall, but he is he communicates in his own way, I think, with everyone. With Im, it is through a language that is shared from her abilities, and with me it is by sense instead. I have always wondered about his past. He is, as you can see, a unique feline.
And he's always been around since you've been here?
Or as long as I can remember. Does Reverend Varkan recall a time Tobias wasn't here?
No. For as long as the Gravehaven's been here that you're aware of, Tobias has been around here.
This is Tobias's home. I don't know if there was ever any other place before that, because I've known him for as long as I've been here.
Well, maybe in time we'll be closer to finding out more answers. Since I don't have any more ideas, to be completely honest, with how to open this book, I agree with you that we should carry it with us, because I don't trust that if we leave it here, now that it has been uncovered, that it will not be taken from its place. It's probably the most important thing we have found here. Not saying that these other tomes are not important, but
they are very important. But this tome is new. For us, anyway.
Right. Speaking of old tomes, how about you show me a few that I could look over and help you with?
Of course. And Reverend Varkan kind of shows WYTHE, the edict, and kind of helps explain, since I'm pretty sure I don't know that WYTHE can read it. So it's like,
what languages do you speak, WYTHE?
I speak Abyssal, Common, Crippleic, Infernal, and Sylvan.
No, you cannot read it.
Bad.
So the Reverend Varkan is reading it to you.
Okay.
They have a very nice reading voice.
What parts do you read WYTHE? I'm curious.
I'm sorry?
What parts does Reverend Varkan read to WYTHE? Specific myths, the middle, the beginning, the end.
I think they go over kind of the high points and kind of the low points, like the extremes, each end of the spectrum. They kind of introduce WYTHE to sort of the overall flavor of the text. I think that they probably any parts where blood magic is specifically mentioned, they'll read those parts to her.
WYTHE. You can pick whether you want to make Arcana check or a History check. Both will give different answers. So do you want to know more about the magics, or do you want to know more about the history?
Reverend how Hey Aki, how high is your Arcana and or history modifier?
So my Arcana is +2 and my history is +5.
Okay, then I'm gonna do Arcana.
Okay.
Do I have advantage?
Yes, you would, because Reverend Varkan is helping you read the book. Yeah.
I'm so glad. That's good. That's very good.
Mhm.
Okay, 17 for Arcana.
Okay. I would assume Reverend Varkan would explain what the book is.
Mhm.
The book is Death's Edict of both the Opus and the Lament, which is essentially part 1 and part 2 of the Death's Edict. So the Opus is the first half of the Edict that describes Harris's life as a god and taking on the duties of the god of death. It is essentially a manual of how he started the job, and it goes through different stories of kind of fable, folktale, like Aesop's fables of different iterations and stories of how he performed the duties of being a death god. Second half of Death's Edict is the Lament, which came after a difficult decision that he had to make that changed everything. So the second half is his lamentations of that terrible choice he made, and how he spent the rest of his days making up for that terrible decision.
But yeah. So sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Would WYTHE know through reading this text the connection between the Aswythe tree and Yoharos from reading this?
You would, since Reverend Varkan specifically said the good part and the bad part.
Okay.
And the Aswythe tree is mentioned in both.
Okay.
The Aswythe tree, and this goes with the Arcana and the magic, you know that Yoharos does not deal with blood magic. That's not his domain. He does not have anything to do with the Aswythe tree. That is not his domain. But it seems to be a reoccurring element in some stories of either the tree being mentioned or blood being mentioned. With your Arcana and where you come from, because I'm taking that into consideration. Both the good parts of Yoharos' life and the bad part of Yoharos' life both had to do with the arc light.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay.
Yeah. The arc light is more connected with the Aswythe tree and blood magic. Okay. And so it's kind of like you're both sitting there, and Reverend Varkan is describing what this book is, and then picking a good story and a bad story. And both had to do with the arc light.
How I'll just ask Reverend Varkan this, I guess. How much do you know about the Arclight?
How much do I know about the Arclight?
You've spent most of your life reading this book. You know this book very well. The Arclight, without even rolling, I'm just going to give it to you, is another god. The Arclight is a goddess. In particular, the goddess of life. And you know very well, let me get this for you, because Reverend Rakan...
I get a thing.
Yeah, Reverend Rakan would know, that the reoccurring symbolism of pomegranates, particularly like the golden pomegranate, has to do with the Arclight. And there's more that you would know about the Arclight. Reading the stories, and you would know them very well. You know quite a bit about the Arclight, but your main focus is the Death God and not the Goddess of Life. I will say that the way that the Arclight is written, particularly in Death's Edict, is positive. So there's not negative connotation. The Arclight is seen in a positive light in the Death's Edict.
The Reverend Varkan is explaining all of this to Wythe as they're reading through the story to give her some additional context about who the Arclight is.
This is when I pull my trump card. Can I roll for religion, please?
Yes. With advantage.
Thank you.
Trump card.
Yes. Because, surprise, my religion modifier is also a +7. Aha! Educated atheist. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's do... Oh, it's 24 again.
24. What are you particularly asking?
About... I'm asking, since the Reverend is a master of Yoheros and their teachings, and Wythe has a past.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't look at me like that.
You saw how every single one of us, our heads went
I know.
tilt? Every single one of us.
I would like to shed more light on the Arclight for Reverend Varkan in regards to the trees of life and in regards to the pomegranates that they keep seeing.
Okay. So you want to know more information about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Are you breaking out the
D-
tomes?
when-
The notes?
When the DM smiles like that, y'all.
But you rolled
24. Dummy thick modifier, man. Wait, what does dump stat mean? Is that what you dump all your points into, or is that what you don't
Dump stat is the bad one.
Okay. What's the stat that you dump all your stuff into?
It's called min-maxing.
Oh, I maxed intelligence.
all right.
Wizard.
I'm not going to lore dump on you all. I'm not going to be that person, but I'm going to skim on some information because it's very high, and you ask specific questions.
Yes.
So, the symbolism of the Arclight is a pomegranate that is a golden pomegranate with a laurel golden wreath. You would know through stories that your grandmother would have told you. There's reasons why she does not like the Death Warden. And it is because the Death Warden is the reason why the Arclight lost the mantle on the world and was but was lost to another god. And that decision that the Death Warden went against the Arclight fucked up the world. Because the Goddess of Life was no longer in charge. The reason why, in particular, your grandmother hates the Death Warden when it comes to the Arclight, and most Blood Covens hate the Death Warden, is because the God of Death and the Goddess of Light were lovers. And skimming my notes. They were rivals to lovers. Then they had a huge falling out. The reason why the pomegranate is such a interesting take is that there was a myth long ago where the Goddess of Life was sent on what is known as, this is some deep lore shit,
Yes. Good.
the Twin Trials. So the Arclight was sent on the Twin Trials, and the Arclight's trial was to go through a place where she had no control. And that place was the Labyrinth of the Dead. And she had to get through the Labyrinth of the Dead that was overseen by the God of Death at the time. And the God of Death, the myth goes, had no soul. And so he did everything he could to guarantee that she did not succeed. Towards the end of the labyrinth, she creates a pomegranate as a gift to the God of Death. And he is enthralled by this pomegranate, for it is a fruit that can grow in darkness. And he lets her pass. And that is kind of what started this star-crossed lovers story between the Goddess of Life and the God of Death. The Aswythe tree, it is said that the God of Death took bites of the pomegranate and planted the seeds within the death domain, or the death realm, and they grew into Aswythe trees. Lifeblood trees. And those trees are the only known trees in, I would say, the Pantheon myths to grow even in death.
So the thing that makes them so powerful is that it's life and death combined.
It's life and death combined.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, for those specific questions, that's what you get.
That is so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was some good shit right there.
Yeah, it was. I love me some lore. I'm a
Me
lore
too. I almost feel like I need a cigarette after that. That was great.
Wythe is going to relay all of this to Reverend Varkan.
Okay, I need Reverend Varkan to make a religion check. We're going back and forth real quick. After this information, we're putting pieces together of what Reverend Varkan has been putting together.
All right, my religion check. Ah, my dice.
With
Okay.
advantage, because Wythe is helping you.
I'm helping.
Worse.
Oh
No!
no.
It was worse. I have
Oh.
Reverend Varkan knows nothing. They only rolled a set. With advantage, it was an 8.
An 8. Okay.
You're just overwhelmed by my random knowledge. Just
So
like, wow.
as
How-
Wythe is putting this together, and there are images that are in the Death's Edict. And you're just kind of like glossing over, and I would assume like taking Reverend Varkan's hand and kind of like allowing them to kind of feel as you're telling these stories of
because
what you're.
Because the
You
cool
can't
thing
read.
about following, well, the cool thing about following the Death Warden is that those of us who lose our sight don't have to worry about books. They're all made for us. It's like the ink is somehow like a special ink that's like raised up above the page, so like it's been embossed or something like that. So like there is no actual visible text; it's just embossed.
That's incredible.
And then probably brushed over with like gold or something, like gold dust or something like that.
I want that book.
Everything is aesthetic.
I do love me some aesthetic. Oh my goodness.
I would love art of this study.
So here's what you get. Even with an 8, I'll give you some tidbits with connecting dots. So as Wythe explains to you about this part of the arc light is prevalent in the edict in a positive, like, is once again written in a positive way, but mostly in the lament is not mentioned, almost as if not wanting to put a lot of as much thought into it's more sorrow, and it's so sorrowful that they don't want to talk about it, essentially. And what you get from piecing this all together with Wythe for players communicating and sharing secrets, the Arclight and the Death Warden fell in love, and the Labyrinth, he was the foundations of the Death Realm, and the Arclight and the Death Warden created a pocket realm together to be with each other in certain time limits or time frames. And that is the myth of purgatory. So it's between life and death, and spirits, ghosts. It is a way for death and life to be together. The reason for this is because that purgatory that they are kind of together, the Death Warden was not always known as the Death Warden. And it's a few pages into the Death's Edict that you start putting it together, that the Arclight had wardens. The Arclight was the one who created wardens. And the Death Warden, is the only warden who was not created by the Arclight, but instead became warden of the Death Realm to oversee all of the Goddess of Life's creation when she could not. And became wait, I'm reading this. I'm skimming. It's a lot. Yeah, and would care for her failed experiments in another realm. So those that could not live forever, he looked after in her stead. And is known as a Death Warden because of the Arclight. And that is what you get.
Reverend Varkan is silent for a very long moment. And they kind of sit back in their chair and they look in Wythe's direction. You know how earlier I said that I thought that perhaps you were the answer to my prayer? I don't think that anymore. I know it.
Well, I hope it's good.
I think I'm finally going to start finding some answers. I think the only way I could have found them is if you somehow, through circumstance, stumbled your way in my direction.
Only time will tell.
Meanwhile, out in the hallway, where would you all like to be? Do you want to go talk to the tree now, or do you want to wait, or do you all want to be together?
If you put that on us, yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna go talk to the tree.
Yeah.
Okay. Do the three of you want to go, or do you want to all be together?
I don't want the cat there, but I will accept the cat being there if it must be.
The cat is with you.
Wait, you'd rather have the cat go somewhere else where you can't see it?
We could just lock the cat
Here's
in a
the thing,
room,
you guys.
right?
I own 2 cats. I love cats. Whistler does not.
Because Whistler is burb.
Right. Yeah. All right. No, I just had to say that for the people out there because I love cats.
They're gonna be like, oh, Randy Alvarenga.
Yeah, I don't want anyone making that mistake. This is the second stream I've been in where my character did not like cats, and I'm like, that's not true. It's not.
PETA has your name for sure.
Anyway, we're going to the tree.
Okay. Is it the three of you? Or everybody?
I'll leave a note on the door so whenever they're done they can join us outside.
Okay. So you all walk over to outside to the WYTHE tree. Reverend Varkan WYTHE, you hear probably a little knock at the door. And a note has been placed.
All right. Reverend Varkan will go and pick up the note, show it to WYTHE, since they probably can't read it.
The tree.
Right?
Yeah. And to the tree.
Yeah.
All right.
Izzy.
So when we get there, you're gonna tell me if it has any weird accents or if it's using special words, right?
Yes, that's number.
I mean, that's
okay.
like at the end. You can tell me later, but like I'm super excited about this.
Yes. No, I will say as much as I can the way that they say it. But more importantly, last time I touched this tree, it did try to, take my life force away. And it was fine because I could take the hit at the time, but if it's going to be a thing, I might need both of your help.
I will be there to heal you just in case.
I have my dagger with a red gem sticking out of it, and he sort of flicks it in his hand, and he goes, "Don't worry about that. I've got your back."
Sabriel's gonna put his hand on Whistler's back. Please do not stab the tree.
I heard there was blood in the tree. If there's blood in it, I can make it bleed.
Yes, but then it might also make you bleed, and I only have so much healing powers for a day.
I'll wait. But Isidora, don't worry. I've got your back.
All right, Izzy, as you approach the tree.
Yeah. Izzy gets close to the tree, gets somewhere comfortable, like sat, and casts Speak with Plants.
Okay.
Oh, Sabriel is getting a cure wounds ready, just in case.
Make a wisdom saving throw as you touch the tree.
That's fine. I got it. Right. Oh yeah, dirty 20.
Ooh.
Perfect. Okay. As you touch the tree, you feel like your life's energy push, like it pulls you in. But you're able to kind of sustain like a little bit more momentum, to keep your hand still there, but not to allow the tree to take anything from you. But you do feel that pull sensation.
Don't get weird yet. Now I have questions. You better have answers. And maybe we'll talk about life force. Now, why did you grow here?
I grew here thousands of years ago.
But you're not from here, are you?
Yes. I grew here. I live here. I'm from here.
This isn't the Sanguine Wilds. This is a different place. I don't think all of you take like this. Who planted you?
I remember gold.
Oh, I wish I was in that room for that lore drop. Okay. Gold. Okay, do you remember anything else about what planted you? Was it like a bird or an ambitious squirrel or a person?
It was more of a feeling. Not physical.
I'm gonna turn to the boys and ask, do you have any questions for it?
I mean, I suppose, how is it both alive and dead? And why does it have a heartbeat? Would be probably my top list of questions.
Yeah. Okay. And I ask that.
Okay. Well, I've always been this way. I've never been any different. Hmm. No, not that I can recall.
Do you take the life force for yourself, or are you giving it to someone else or something else?
Well, if life goes through me, it goes into the world. It goes into everything around you. Life is all around us.
Does it sense the bodies in the ground near it? And did it have anything to do with the druids coming back?
What he said.
Yes, I'm aware of the bodies, you call them. I sense only energy. And even though they are dead, it would seem life can begin anew.
Why these vessels and not those in the cemetery that we have here?
Something called to them and brought them here. Their energy matched mine. So I did not take from them, nor did they take from me. We were balanced.
Well, you don't sound like how I thought you'd sound.
What did you think I would sound like?
Can the boys hear the tree? Am I the only one that can hear the tree?
You're the only one that can hear the tree.
Okay, then, seemingly unprompted, she goes, "Well, I'm a big evil tree, and I deliver things to your heroes through my roots."
You feel the tree writhe a little bit in beneath.
Sorry if that was insensitive.
Did
No.
we see the tree move?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You can see. You saw it kind of move.
Instinctively, Sabriel is gonna reach out and put his hand on Isidora's shoulder and like ready to pull her away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's like pretty much, and he's just gonna whisper, "If you need me to, I'll pull you off this tree."
Okay for now. But hold on, I want to try something.
All right.
That's a name that I haven't heard for a while. People don't speak to me. People speak at me.
Oh. Well, I want you to tell me what you think and what you feel. I don't want to just talk at you. What do you think of your heroes?
Vile. Cruel.
Huh.
Why'd you make that face? What did you say? It said it's the greatest death god of all, right?
There was strong language.
Nice.
You can be honest.
It does not like your heroes at all.
Oh. Why is it here?
Why are you here? This is kind of, well, as far as I understand, this land is dedicated to him.
You watch the tree writhe? What do you mean?
This whole, we're in some sort of hollowed ground. Everyone here follows and works in the name of your heroes.
What languages do you speak? Oh, wait, is it sentient to where if it communicates, it's not a different language, it's like a tree language?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's like
Oh,
druidic shit happening.
Okay. So you hear in a like druidic fury of what would be like cursing in druidic language. Just full stop.
Oh. I'm sorry you didn't know that. Yeah, this whole place
I'm on a traitor's land.
Yes.
And I am learning this now.
Yes, you said it's been thousands of years? I mean, I don't know how long it's
You
been.
watch as one of the branches tries to pull Izzy closer.
We're gonna pull her off.
Sabriel
Yeah.
absolutely still has his hand on his shoulder and just rips her
Okay.
away.
Okay,
And like
strength.
pulls her behind, like puts his back to it and like cradles her on the other side of the tree,
Okay.
protecting her.
Make an athletics check. Both of you.
Okay.
Izzy, yeah. You're just like
Yeah, that's scary. Okay.
It's a 12.
Wow.
I got higher. I got a 19.
Yeah,
19.
Sabriel's not even trying to pull himself away. He's just trying to put himself in between Isidora and the tree.
Okay. So, Izzy, you watch as this tree, the roots just up around you, and right as it's about to like come up to your face, you feel you get pulled, and in this like beautiful dance, you watch as Whistler pulls and spins you around backwards, and you watch as Sabriel turns his back, and these branches, which are thorny, crawl up back all around him and up around. So I need...
Yeah, like Whistler and I would say Whistler and Sabriel work pretty well together, and it's just like they know what they would know what to do in
Sabriel is going to take 14 points of necrotic damage.
And you just see him like grit his teeth and like hunch his back a little bit. Take her.
Yeah. Come on.
Wait, we're so close to finding something out. We didn't. I mean, I know they were angry, but
It's not worth it.
And he's gonna pull away from the tree, and I guess he'll look back at the tree, and you'll just see the blood coming out of his back. And you said it was necrotic, right?
Yeah, it was necrotic, so it's halved for you, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, Izzy, I know you want answers. This tree is gonna be here. Maybe giving it some time would be better, but I don't think we should be tempting fate right now. Did you learn anything?
your heroes, it's been here for a very long time, and it was looking like it didn't even know that there were other, like, versions of itself. All it remembered was gold.
You feel underneath you, the ground is starting to quake. and you all like watch. And I assume Reverend Varkan wife, now as you're kind of turning this corner, you see SABRIEL, lantern in hand, just bleeding from the back as this bramble roots of this tree have uprooted and is beginning to kind of wither and tear and flesh out of the ground of these roots. Very angry.
So SABRIEL's I'm gonna cast
shit.
I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on Isidora.
Okay.
So you ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature who targets the warded creature with attack of heartable spell must first make a Wisdom saving throw.
All right.
Okay.
On a failed save, they must choose a new target or lose the attack.
Okay.
So he's gonna cast that spell, and immediately he's gonna bring his lantern. He's not wearing his armor, by the way.
Yeah.
He's gonna bring his lantern staff up, like pretty much ready to fight.
Okay.
He has a shirt on now, right?
He's got a shirt on, but it's like the tattered one he wears underneath his armor. The reason he doesn't wear a shirt is because he's wearing that armor like almost year round, walking around the country. So whenever he has a chance, he does not want to wear all of the armor and constrictive clothing. He's not doing it just to show off, but maybe a little. But yeah. Bonus.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say bonus action. I'm casting Soul Scythe. So
Soul Scythe and
yeah.
Sanctuary's up on Izzy.
Yeah. So that would be my full thing, but he's got it ready just in case.
Okay. Izzy, I believe you still have I believe you're 30 feet away, right, from the tree?
Yeah.
You can still hear this tree. You do not have to touch it. It is a self range of 30 feet. So you can still hear this tree as it is angry, upset, confused, and all that you hear is like muttering of incantations, druidic incantations. Odd, very strange. And that's where we're going to end this episode of Gravehaven. And next episode, we might be rolling for initiative at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, I had one more non-combat idea that I want to try and remember for next time.
Did you have one more, Izzy?
I was gonna talk to it a little bit, but no, this is
You're just like, oh shit.
I'm ready to stab.
Wow. What an episode. This wow. Lots of lore. Love that lore. So let's go around the table and introduce everybody. We're gonna go over and start with Aki.
Hi, everybody. I'm Aki. You can find me on Twitter, Hive, and Instagram at MixGenie in a Bottle. That's MXGINIINABOTTLE. This is where you can find me every Friday at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. And keep an eye out. Maybe some more fun things coming up in the future. We'll see. But also Happy New Year, because it's just after New Year for us. It's a bit later than that by the time this episode airs, but even so, Happy New Year. I hope you all had a good holiday.
And we're gonna go down to Randy.
Hey, what's up? I'm Randy Alvarenga. You can follow me on Twitter and Hive Social at RollerRaja. That's ROLLERRAJA, where I talk about all the stuff that I'm doing. I'm super pumped. I have a show that I recorded at the end of the year that's going to be starting back soon. It's in post-production. It should be starting in I can't say the date yet, but it will be soon.
Exciting.
We just saw the promo pictures that came out, and it is sick. So get pumped. And then beyond that, though, Edge of Legends with these legends here every Wednesday over on Nat 20 Productions official on Twitch. Did I say that right? I hope I did. So yeah, come check us out.
Yeah. Sidney.
Oh, hi. Hello. My name is Sidney Rubino. You can find me all over the internet at Sidney Rubino. That's Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. When I'm not here with these lovely people, as Randy just mentioned, you can find Wes, Randy, and I on Edge of Legend on the Nat 20 Productions official channel on Twitch every Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you can't check us out there, we upload our episodes every Saturday. And I also painstakingly, every week, I write recap scripts so you don't have to watch the full episode, because I understand 3 hours is a lot. So if that interests you, you can watch those on our YouTube. It's super easy. There's some fun stuff coming up in the new year. Yay! Can't talk about it yet, but it's exciting. So, yeah, follow me for updates, and also if you like a general funny person on the internet.
Wes.
Hi guys, I'm Wes at Wes_IRL on all the social media apps. Yeah, like both Randy and Sidney said, you can find me Wednesdays on Edge of Legend, where we play some very different, well, two of us play very different characters.
Shut up.
Sidney definitely has a character that is very good at religion checks in Edge of Legend as well. So but please come watch us over there. I love being a part of this show. I love being part of Edge of Legend. So yeah, if you want to see more roleplay from us three, please come check it out.
Zach.
Hello, I'm Zach. She, they. You can find me everywhere that matters at Zach the Drag, ZAKTHEDRAK. I'm over at Mayday Roleplay. We're playing vampires, Vegas by night. I also worked on my first illustrated cover for a TTRPG book with +1 experience with my boy Navar over at Secret Nerd Podcast. It's a book called The Corrupted. It's about zombies. I'm so excited about it. It's not out yet, but the cover is on Twitter. Check it out. I'm so proud.
I also forgot to mention that, like, after we'd stopped filming for last year, I got published.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, high five, Zach.
Yes,
we did it.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Hi, everybody. I'm Finn Pierson. You can find me all over the internet at Finn R. Pierson, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere that you get your social medias. So you can find me here on Fridays at 7 p.m. on Q Times, where I DM, world build, creative direct, and do all this for Gravehaven, my baby. I also have OscuroMythos, which I have started to plan out some projects for this year, which I'm really excited for. So go over on OscuroMythos channel and check all of that out. I will be returning to Leverage LA February 15th, where I will be playing Donnie O'Connor, my wonderful mastermind that I love him so much. So Leverage LA over on Open Circuit Studios. That comes out on the 15th. And so far, that's all I'm doing right now. It's just these two shows. Cool thing happened yesterday from when we recorded this episode. Gravehaven is now a podcast. You can listen to this show now. Wherever you get your podcast. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon Podcast. It's on Google now. So I believe as of where we're recording, chapters 1 through 4 are up there. So you can now commute and listen to this show. In the next, hopefully, few weeks, I'm also going to be rolling out some stickers and some art prints. So if you're interested in stickers or art prints for the show, we will announce those when those go out. Thank you again to Q Times for allowing us to be here every Friday night. Thank you, Jake, for everything that you do. And yeah, thank you also to you at home watching the show. It means so much to me and it means so much to everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.